Hey there YouTube, hope everyone had a good Christmas. I'll show you what I'm up to at the moment. I'm having a go at trying to fix this panel along here. Okay, this is the back quarter panel. I'll tell you why there's holes all through it. This is the back quarter panel of this car. It's quite a big panel, and unfortunately for me it's a bit warped and a bit stoved in. I think there are a number of reasons why that is, and I'll discuss that now. So, as I've said before, along the side of this would have been a series of chrome strips and holes for clips to hold it on, and whoever's done it previously, where's some more bits, has done a pretty poor job at it. Here's some of the back bits that I've cut it. No, this one you can see quite well. See, they've just held a small piece of sheet metal in from the back, migged it up, and then of course you're left with a pretty crappy indentation on the other side. Now they've also done this in quite a hurried fashion, because I believe the heat generated from doing this has warped this back panel, and which is why if I go down, the light's going to play with me, if I go down this side you can see it's got a bit of a scallop to it, which it shouldn't have. The way I'm going about fixing this, it's not like a dent. You know, if you check out Restolad's channel, who I'd recommend, it's not like a dent where you can just reverse the dent. It's distortion. Okay, the MIG has heated up the metal and then it's cooled too quickly and the metal shrinks back. Think of it like I like to think of it like a bed sheet or something like that. So it shrinks back and it distorts the panel. So what I've done is I've cut out the old repairs, because I know surrounding them is very hard metal. Okay, it's work hardened, and I've got to soften it up to get it back again. So if I cut these all out, I then free up the panel, and I could even tell that was the case, because when I cut this large part out, which was a very poor repair, and you can see the rust coming back through, the panel sprung back. Okay, you could see the moment that the pressure was released in the corner parts, the panel sprung back, which tells me it's been under tension, and you know, the heat of the MIG has just done that. So what I'm doing is I've cut all these out, and what I'm doing is I'm using a bit of hammer and dolly to just try and stretch out the areas surrounding the old repairs which have been shrunk down. Then what I'm doing is I'm ever so slightly using my flat, I don't even know what type of hammer this is, but just flat panel hammer, and tapping from the outside the top part of the swage line. Okay, you can see, well, if I hold it here, you can see there's quite a gap here. Okay, now I can't just try and stretch all this out, or I'll end up with a bowl the other way. You work from your edges, you get your edges right, and the rest of the panel will follow. So what I've done back here, you can see this one's not too bad, and back here is tap, 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 tap from the back to try and pull the panel this way. Okay, and then check with your straight edge, and slowly then move further up the panel with lighter and lighter taps as you can to try and straighten this whole thing out. This back part had a huge repair in it, and this whole lot was stoved in, and so now by using the hammer and even just getting my hand in there and just sort of pushing the metal back into place, I'm going to hopefully straighten this out as much as I can, and hopefully it'll have very little filler. These holes, which are dotted all through here, are going to be a pain in the ass to remove. The problem being they're very short and they're very sharp, very small, and what I think that's from is some smart ass who's got one of these hammers and just bashed the shit out of it. I don't know why. Maybe they were trying to shrink the panel back, but that's what I think they've done. I've tried taking out some of the deeper ones, but the problem is that because they're such small little dents, I get my hammer and dolly, my slapper on it, and it'll just stretch all the outside of the metal. So I might even be inclined to leave some of them in. So that's where I'm at, slowly trying to fix up this panel. Like I say, if I didn't do this now, I'd just be putting a ton of bog back in, which is, to me, is just unacceptable. and that's what the previous person has done. So spending a bit of time with the metal. I mean, I'm never gonna, I don't have the skills, and the panel is a bit too far gone for me to ever get it back to a file finish, but I'm hoping to at least minimise the amount of filler that I end up putting in it. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'll probably show another video when I've welded new repairs back in these. And I'm going to be very careful when I do it. You know, time is your friend when you go to do these. You don't want to rush it, otherwise I'm just going to distort the panel back again. Okay, cheers. But despite my slackness of updating on YouTube, I have been getting a bit of work done on this thing. I've mostly sorted out all the holes down the side here, fixed them in with pieces of steel, new pieces, and welded them up, and I've mostly got it straightened up, not too bad. It's an absolute prick of a thing doing this, and all because of the previous work that was done on it, which has made it so much worse. See, like all these little divots here, I can't really flatten them out with a hammer and dolly without risking stretching that area of the panel and warping it. That's just the fact of it, really. I mean, I'm actually going to have to leave them there, which I'm not too happy about, but that's just the fact of it. Oh yeah, I've got it mostly straightened out, and it hasn't buckled too much in where I have done the new repairs, except down this end. And I think it's more because of the old repair that was in the corner there that I haven't really dug out yet. So I might actually have to cut that out before I can straighten one of the panels out, but the whole panel out. But what I really need from anyone out there who's got perhaps an original one of these is an idea of what the profile is on this back corner. Now, I would have expected this quarter to be pretty much flat. And if I go there on my engineer's square, it's pretty much flat. I've got it nice and straight, which is a hell of a lot better than what it was before, because it was all bowed in and just full of bog. But you go back to the front of the quarter, and you can see there's a gap. And I don't think this has been moved, but there's an actual natural scallop to this panel. So my question is, how does this panel actually sit? You know, is it straight? Does it have a small bow in it? Is it nice and sharp along the swage line, which I'm pretty sure it is, rather than having more bulged out like it is at the back here? So if anyone's got a natural original one of these where the quarter panel is good, I'll put a link to the forums I'm posting on some websites, and update me there. So it's slow going at the moment. You know, I've been on holiday and stuff like that, and I'm going away again, but it's slow going. And in other news, I'm also fixing some of the repairs down this bottom area of the quarter, and this one here, you can see where the quarter joined the rest of it. There's actually lead in here, so this is where the two panels are fixed. Were fixed together at the factory, and the rust was right underneath where that lead loading is, so I had to cut it out, and I'll clean that up, deoxidine it, put a primer on it, and away we go. So yeah, slowly but surely, but yeah, I know. I haven't got a lot of time over the next 2 months, and the time it's taken to do all this is frustrating me. But I hope you're enjoying what I'm doing. Cheers, guys.